A man visits a zoo and asks to speak to the director about the new Rent an Animal program. The zoo, struggling financially, had started renting out some of their animals during off hours. Typically, it's small, cuddly animals, but the man asks for one of the elephants. An elephant? The zoo director asks, surprised. Yes, the biggest one you have, please, the man insists. The director hesitates. Well, we can do that, but it won't be cheap. It's $5,000 per day for the rental, plus an additional $4,000 for transportation, and you'll have to cover the cost of feeding it, too. That won't be a problem, the man replies confidently. I just need it for one day. Here's $10,000. With that settled, the elephant is transported to the man's house. Put him in the bedroom on the second floor, the man orders. The workers try to get the elephant inside, but it won't fit through the door. Without hesitation, the man calls a construction company, rents a crane, and has the elephant lifted through the window on the second floor. The window is then resealed at a staggering cost. At this point, the zoo director, perplexed, asks, I hate to be nosy, but I have to know. What is all this for? The man smiles and explains, Well, you see, my wife's brother lives with us. He's an unbearable know-it-all. Every quiz show we watch, he blurts out the answers before we even get a chance to guess. Every morning he solves the crossword puzzles. He's beaten me 15 times in a row at Trivial Pursuit, but tonight he's going to go upstairs, come back down, and say, Hey, guess what? There's an elephant in my bedroom. And I'm just going to keep reading my book and calmly reply, Yes, I know. A football coach noticed that his star tackle, Bubba, had so many women around him that he couldn't possibly keep up. One day, curious, the coach asked, Bubba, what's your secret? Bubba replied, Well, coach, whenever I'm about to make love, I take it out and bang it on the dresser like a hammer. That numbs it, and I can go all night long. The coach, intrigued, decided to give it a try. One afternoon, he came home early, hearing his wife in the shower. Seizing the opportunity, he stripped off his clothes and began banging his manhood on the dresser. His wife stuck her head out of the shower and asked, Bubba, is that you? A man walks into a bar and orders 10 shots of whiskey. The bartender, concerned, asks, What's going on? The man replies, I just found out my brother is gay and marrying my best friend. The next day, the same man comes in and orders 12 shots. The bartender asks again, What's the issue this time? The man says, I found out my son is gay and is marrying my business partner who's 30 years older than him. The following day, the man walks in and orders 15 shots of whiskey. The bartender, now curious, asks, Doesn't anyone in your family like women? The man looks up and says, Apparently, my wife does. A husband was sitting on the edge of the bed, watching his wife as she gazed into the mirror. With her birthday coming up, he asked, What would you like as a gift? She replied, still staring at herself, I'd like to be 8 again. On the morning of her birthday, the husband got up early, prepared a big bowl of Cocoa Pops, and then took her to Adventure World theme park. What a day! He put her on every ride, the death slide, the wall of fear, the screaming roller coaster, everything. 5 hours later, they staggered out of the park. Her head was spinning and her stomach was turning. He then took her to McDonald's, where he ordered a Happy Meal with extra fries and a chocolate shake. After that, they went to the movies, where he got her popcorn, a soda, and her favorite candy, M&M's. What a fabulous day. Finally, she wobbled home, exhausted, and collapsed into bed. He leaned over, grinning, and asked, Well, dear, what was it like being 8 again? Her eyes slowly opened, and her expression changed. I meant my dress size, you idiot. A man and his wife were having an argument in bed. After the husband had finally had enough, he stormed out, grabbing a blanket and heading to the couch. The next day, feeling guilty about the argument, the wife decided to buy her husband a gift. Since he was an avid golfer, she went to the pro shop at the golf club where he usually played. The wife spoke to the pro, who suggested a new putter and showed her one of his finest. How much is it? She asked. $150, he replied. The wife thought that sounded a bit expensive and said so. Well, it comes with an inscription, the pro explained. What kind of inscription? She inquired. Whatever you wish, he said. One of the old golfer's favorites is, Never up, never in. The wife's eyes widened. Oh, that won't do, she exclaimed. That's what started the argument in the first place. A boy and a girl lost in the jungle. They hadn't eaten in 4 days and both were feeling weak. The girl, desperate, turned to the boy and said, All right, you have to do something for me. Just give your package inside me. The boy, confused, asked, Why? What's going on? The girl, looking at her empty stomach, replied, Dude, something has to go in. A husband and wife are in bed when there's a knock at the door. The husband checks the clock. It's 3:30 a.m. He reluctantly gets out of bed and goes downstairs. When he opens the door, he finds a drunk slumped on the doorstep. Hey there, the drunk slurs. Can you give me a push? The husband frowns and replies, "Go away. It's 3:30 in the morning." He slams the door and returns to bed. He tells his wife about the encounter. She shakes her head and says, "Dave, that wasn't very nice. Remember the night we broke down in the pouring rain and you had to knock on someone's door? What would have happened if they told us to get lost?" Feeling guilty, Dave acknowledges she's right. So he gets up, gets fully dressed, puts on his shoes, grabs his tools, and even takes out some jumper cables. He's determined to help the man no matter what. After gathering everything, he opens the door and calls out, "Hey, do you still want to push?" The drunk responds, "Yes, please." Dave asks, "Where are you?" The drunk replies, "Ha, I'm on your swing set." A man comes home early from work one day and hears strange noises coming from the bedroom. He rushes upstairs to find his wife naked on the bed, sweating and panting. "What's going on?" he asks, alarmed. "I'm having a heart attack," his wife cries. Panicking, the man rushes downstairs to grab the phone. But just as he's about to dial, his 4-year-old son runs up to him and says, "Daddy! Daddy! Uncle Ted's hiding in your wardrobe, and he's got no clothes on." The man slams the phone down, storms back upstairs past his moaning wife, and throws open the wardrobe door. Sure enough, there's his brother, completely naked and cowering in the corner. "You idiot!" the husband shouts. "My wife's having a heart attack and you're in here running around naked scaring the kids!" A couple attends an agricultural show out in the countryside on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. They watch as bulls are auctioned off for stud. The announcer introduces the first bull. "A fine specimen, this bull reproduced 60 times last year." The wife nudges her husband and whispers, "See, that's 5 times a month." The next bull is introduced. "Another great specimen, this bull reproduced 120 times last year." Again, the wife pokes her husband. "Hey, that's 10 times a month. What do you think of that?" By now, her husband is getting frustrated with all the comparisons. Then the third bull is presented. "And here we have an extraordinary specimen. This bull reproduced 360 times last year." The wife smacks her husband on the arm and exclaims, "That's once a day, every day? What do you have to say about that?" The husband, clearly annoyed, shouts back, "Sure, but ask the announcer if they were all with the same cow."